Hello, good afternoon. I thought we would go back to reading Luke. So we did Luke a little out of order. We did, I think, 1 through 6, and then we jumped ahead to 8. No, we went back to 7 or something like that. So now we're at Luke 9. Jesus sends out the 12. Here we go. When Jesus had called the 12 together, he gave them power and authority to drive out all demons and to cure diseases. And he sent them out to proclaim the kingdom of God and to heal the sick. He told them, "Take nothing for the journey, no staff, no bag, no bread, no money, no extra shirt. Whatever house you enter, stay there until you leave that town. If people do not welcome you, leave their town and shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them." So they set out and went from village to village, proclaiming the good news and telling people everywhere. That's so interesting because it's so contrary to like today's mindset of like, stock up, be a hoarder. Stock up, be a hoarder, prepare for emergency. You have to have all the things because there could be an emergency, which is partially true. You want to be prepared and also partially not trusting in God. And if the reality is, if there was an emergency that was that severe, you would probably not be able to stay in your house. You'd have to travel. And now you have all that stuff that would be stuck in your house. So it's a fine line. You got to like use some discretion, like in wisdom, and what do I prepare for and in what way, but anyway, I guess I would say, I do tend to like over prepare and overstock and over have stuff, but I love how Jesus tells them, take nothing, just go. I got you. Anyway, okay, we got to hurry up. We might have to only do half of Luke 9 because I am on a time schedule. So Jesus feeds the 5,000. When the apostles returned, they reported to Jesus what they had done. Then he took them with him, and they withdrew by themselves to a town called Bethsaida. But the crowds learned about it and followed him. He welcomed them and spoke to them about the kingdom of God, and he healed those who needed healing. Late in the afternoon, the 12 came to him and said, "Send the crowd away so they can go to the surrounding villages and countryside and find food and lodging, because we are in a remote place here." He replied, "You give them something to eat." They answered, "We have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Unless we go and buy food for all this crowd." About 5,000 men were there. Okay, so I'm reading this really bad. I apologize. But anyway, and he said to his disciples, "Have them sit down in groups of about 50 each." The disciples did so, and everyone sat down. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke them. Then he gave them to the disciples to distribute to the people. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of They all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. So that's like the loaves and the fishes, right? So they have like, oh, here's the cat. Great. Kitty, go. They have barely any food. And it's kind of what we were just talking a second ago. Oh, God will provide, right? And so then Jesus is like, well, we can feed the people. And Jesus just trusts in God. And Jesus is God, but still Jesus like trusts in the Father. And God provides and multiplies the food, the bread and the fish and everything, and like is enough to feed like all the people. There's like thousands and thousands of people, and and it's enough to feed them all because God kept multiplying it. And so I like that, I don't think I've ever seen that in my actual life. yet, but that would be a thing I would love to see. I would love to see a little fish miracle or a bread miracle or a thing like that. They say it can happen with tithing. I'm not so sure. I'm convinced. When I tried to tithe, I ended up more broke than I had ever been in my entire life. Had to quickly stop tithing. But interestingly, when I was giving money, I used to take out 200 cash and have 20s in my car or in my wallet or wherever. And then we would give the money to the people on the streets. When I was doing that, I always had enough money. When I switched to tithing and was like giving the church 10%, it was right around the same time as also my child support got cut in half. Quickly, I was in debt. I am still coming out of that spiral of hell that I was in from tithing. Like, I have not recovered my finances since I started to tithe. Like, either it's the less child support, which is probably a huge factor, but in addition, the tithing. Like, I don't even know. But I have gone back to sorry, this cat is driving me crazy. To the withdrawing the cash, keeping the 20s in my purse or wallet and car or wherever, and then giving the money when I see the people with the signs. For whatever reason, I always seem to, when I do it that way, I have money. And of course, it's because it's less money. $20, however often, is less than tithing 10%. So clearly, that's probably it. It's just the math is different. But we're off topic as usual, so I think we should be done. So we read Luke 9, verse 1 through 17. That's progress. We will keep doing this later. Gotta go.